Namaste to Guruji. Jai Guruji Aunty. Good morning.
Good morning. So we will continue rather. What is being discussed here is ancestors and the blessings of ancestors, right? Before we come to the higher heart, we come to religion. So we spoke about religion also. That is not a bad thing, right? So understand this, Rabda. There is nothing wrong with being religious and following rituals and customs. Each ritual and custom came with a reason. Take ancestor worship. Remember, each individual is an amalgamation of her karma and DNA. The karmic blueprint is decided by the individual's actions, thoughts, words, deeds, and intentions of past lives, and also the accumulation of this life. This decides the individual's present life journey in the body. The DNA decides the looks, personality, tendencies, health, and a lot of other things. Good health and wealth, more often than not, comes from ancestors and karma combined. But how many remember ancestors apart from once a year during the prayers for the departed? So, during Shraddhs, we do remember our ancestors, our parents passed on. But how many of us really remember them all the time and seek their blessings? Like Guruji used to say, "Ma baap ki bhi seva karo aur unki blessings lo." But even if they have passed on, seek their blessings. Being in remembrance and gratitude towards one's ancestors is very important. How will parents feel if the children ignore and forget the parents? If the parents are not thought of, or there is no gratitude shown towards them, how will they feel? After a while, sadness enters the heart and soul of the parents. And after a while, blessings and prayers that naturally come from deep within the parents slowly start drying up. So whether they're alive or they are passed on, it's important to seek the blessings of our parents and grandparents. Do you have any idea, Rabda, how important the blessings of parents and grandparents are? Similarly, the ancestors too feel ignored, slighted, hurt, insulted, and pained. The blessings stop pouring down from above, and discord and disharmony begins to seep within the family, living in the body. So very interesting. So blessings are pouring from our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents. But when we stop remembering them and they start hurting, then the blessings from above also start drying up. Remember, the ancestors may or may not send down ill will, but the goodwill and blessings and protection stop coming forward. It's not like they feel they're sending us ill will, but it's just that blessings are a very big thing. Often ancestors are the guides to the family living on Mother Earth, and the guidance stops. The family may have everything, but not have peace and happiness in their lives. Or there could be continuous obstacles coming their way. Eventually, the family disintegrates. There are fights among the siblings, which is happening today. Brothers are fighting over land. Sisters are also fighting in today's world. So after a point, no male heir to continue for family heritage because there's so much commotion. So usually, what is advised, and this I've also heard since I've come to India, not that I do it, is advised that the first roti, or if that is not possible, rice made at home, be prepared in the name of the ancestors. A little ghee or clarified butter is applied and a piece of jaggery put on the roti or the rice, and this roti to feed the cow, black dog, or the crow. So you might say this is a ritual or superstition. Do ancestors really need this? Or do they actually come down to be told this? What is so special in a cow or a crow or a black dog? I agree, but the logic is this. When a family member prepares the roti, or it could be rice and ghee, jaggery, whatever it is, the ancestors, keeping the ancestors in their thoughts and feel gratitude towards the ancestors, also pray for the ancestors' well-being, each family member is supposed to touch the food prepared for the ancestors. And by touching the food, every family member is remembering the ancestors and seeking their blessings, as well as praying for them, wherever they may be, that they may be in peace. Now, another family member might go and feed cow, crow, or black dog. While feeding the animal or bird, the individual too is supposed to wish for the ancestors' well being and spiritual progress, and also seek their blessings of peace and well being amongst the family in the body. What one is basically doing is ensuring that every day the ancestors are being remembered and that their well being prayed for and their blessings sought. So, like my parents passed away uh, mom almost a decade ago, and my dad almost 2 decades ago. But by remembering them every time we light a diya in front of Guruji, we pray for our families. So always keep one photograph there in the mandir. And that way we always remember our parents or our grandparents or ancestors. If this ritual of making and feeding the roti, etc., was not indulged in all probability, the family would not remember the ancestors every day. Therefore, it's a small ritual that makes us remember them. Now, why the cow, crow, or black dog? Many families, in fact, feed each of these. In India, I see, my friends feeding a black dog or a cow or a crow. What is the reason? The reason is non-aggressive animal. The cow is a non-aggressive animal and is often starving due to the lack of food available. The crow is not as beautiful and certainly not as melodious as the other birds. And a black dog, because of the color, black is shunned in India. By feeding any of them, one is taking care of them. And blessings in the form of pure love that comes forth from them, helping to help the one feeding them and the family past and present. In the same vein, Muslims feed the poor in Dargah in the name of their family, again, past and present. The blessings of the poor who are starving come from the heart. Andan sabse bada dan. So to feed the poor, when we feed them, their blessings really do come from the heart. So there are no ifs and buts about it. Clothe a man dying of cold and he will bless you from the heart, as only he knows what it is like to shiver. Provide medicine to the ill, and the blessings come forth not only for you, but your entire family lineage, because you are healing somebody. The only thing is, whenever you help somebody, do so in the name of your ancestors and your loved ones in the body. There is a downpour. You watch blessings from ancestors and the one being helped. And blessings do go to the ancestors and to you and your family. So it's very interesting that, we do forget, besides in Shraddhs, we do this, but we must do it whenever we can. Must remember them in our prayers. When we're sitting in a satsang, God bless my mom, my dad, my grandparents, all my ancestors, because we don't know where they are. But when our heart reaches their heart, then their heart overflows with blessings for us. Now, feeding the animal or bird or even another human being, you may consider this a ritual, but the meaning behind the ritual is only spiritual. So it may look like a ritual, but it's spiritual. Each ritual in reality has a spiritual truth behind it. But if you were to just prepare roti as a formality and feed the cow or bird as a formality, then you made it into a ritual. But when you do it from the heart, when I prepare a roti, put ghee on it, and say in my heart, bless you, mom, bless you, dad, bless you, my grandparents, bless you, all my ancestors, and then feed the black dog or the crow or the cow, then it is not a mere formality. The blessings that I am trying to transmit to my ancestors resonates back with their blessings upon me and my family. So trust me, even the animal or bird will see the absence of love and care if you feed it without emotion. So emotion is very important in whatever we do. Otherwise, rituals become empty. It's a mere formality and they have no weight to them. So rituals are not a bad thing, but they must be done with emotion and the right sentiment. The world of the spirit and the world of selflessness operate from pure compassion and surrender. Okay, says Rabda, I now understand the feed an animal or a crow part. But what about all the sweet meats left in the temples, mithai left in temples or places of worship as prasad? How does that help? I mean, so many people are told, and which is true, to go to Hanuman temple particularly and offer prasad there. How does that even help? Ask Rabda to Baba Sai. What do you mean by saying Hanuman? Refer to him as Lord Hanuman. Whenever you take the name of God or goddess or prophet, give them respect. Guru Ji, Hanuman Ji. Nowadays, you people refer to gods and goddesses as though they work for you all. They are not your employees. Treat them with respect and give them respect. Your comprehension is very low, says Mr. Rabda. Anyway, I shall try to speak to you as though I'm speaking to a layman. Let us say you were asked to go to Lord Hanuman's temple and offer some mithai. Lord Ganesha would be offered green mithai, or on Thursday, yellow sweetmeats would be offered. The color depends on the governing planets of each day. So Jupiter is called Guru. Thus Thursday is Guruvar, the day of the Guru, and his color is yellow. Wednesday is Lord Ganesha's day, stands for Mercury, Buddh, the color green. So the mithai too will be of the same color. Do you understand, Rabda? So how, look at the similarity, look at the parallels. He's also saying, like Guruji said, Thursday no yellow paya karo, or orange, because same family, yellow, orange, and try and eat something in yellow and orange. For Monday, he always said white, and banao, kheer banao Monday ko. So Guruji had also given days, colors for the days, for every day, and the food that one could consume to be in alignment with the planets. So when you go to a god or goddess's temple, you are meant to go with a particular colored mithai and flowers as per the day of the week. Now, it's not as if Lord Ganesha or the Master or Mother Mary or anyone you pray to believe in actually eats or is hungry for the offerings. No. What they are hungry for is your love and devotion and remembrance, just remembering them and seeing your bhav, your shraddha. When you are dressed up in the color that God wants you to dress up in, and you bring the color of mithai. Every time you go to the place of worship, when you go and buy mithai, flowers, candles, whatever it may be, it is supposed to be only for the one for whom you are buying all these offerings. So Guruji sees your bhav, your heart. Then you drive or walk or go to the place of worship. Your heart should be impressed even during that time. So when we walk into Bada Mandir or satsang before even walking, instead of doing meet and greet, we must already have started the mantra jap within us. So even though the satsang may have not begun, but we must start going with that sentiment कि हम गुरुजी को मिलने आए हैं और मंत्र जाप हमारे अंदर शुरू हो रहा है, and we just sit in silence, close our eyes so that we do not meet and greet. So it's important that we really embrace all his teachings to the letter. Like he said, if you make me your priority, then why would you not be my priority? Said Guruji. मैं तुहाडी तरफ देखांगा, नहीं तुसी मेरी तरफ देखते रहोगे, तो मैं तुहाडी तरफ क्यों नहीं देखांगा? So in gratitude, you place the offering to the one and pray for the well-being of your ancestors, family, friends, loved ones, everybody, in fact. Sarbada bala. Pray for the abandoned, pray for the weak, pray for the meek. Then you seek the blessings of the God, Master, for yourself and all your loved ones and all of creation, and then you leave. So what have you achieved? You have remembered your God or Goddess or Master that particular day and spent a bit of time in prayer, humility, gratitude, love, and prayed for everybody. The ritual is to go and offer, but the reason behind the ritual is spiritual. When your mithai is distributed as prasad, holy offering, to all those who come there, the prayers you have done for all creation are being distributed as holy prasad, and all those who eat it partake of the blessings. Often we recommend the prasad to be given to the poor outside, as they are truly hungry. And once again, in the name of your ancestors and your loved ones who are passed on, you may do it as a complete formality without any heart, or even make it a spiritual act. The choice again, the free will is yours. How you do, how you engage in the act is all you. दिखावे के लिए कि मुझे कोई देख रहा है जब मैं प्रसाद distribute कर रही हूँ, or am I doing it truly from my heart because I love my ancestors and all who are passed on. When you go to a church or a dargah or Shiva temple, you go there in gratitude, seeking forgiveness and strength to go through your lot with calmness and centeredness. We spoke about this, that the greatest gift God can give us for our karmas, because karmas don't go away. We have to experience and go through our lot. But the greatest gift is asking God for a calmness and centeredness and strength and courage and wisdom to go through every obstacle that comes my way. Does Shiva need milk and water and all other things that are poured or applied on the Shivling? Of course not. You pour milk and water and pray for the suffering, the anger, the violence, and everything negative to be abated. That is a true reason for the offering to the ling. Just going and washing the stone, how does it benefit anyone? You might as well give milk to a starving child, which you should anyway. Why do you need so much milk? A few drops of milk in a container of water is more than enough. It is a prayer that goes with the cleansing of the stone, which is important, and not the amount of milk people throw on the Shivling, which is again common sense. Guruji used to say, "Mere darbar aande ho, te apni jyoti baar chhad ke aaya karo, ifs and buts, intellect, intelligence, sab chhod ke aaya karo, but common sense nahi." So even when we're performing a ritual, again, to reiterate, rituals are not bad. It gets us connected. So ritual is a nursery level, right? But some people are stuck in that nursery level. They do not want to progress to where you need nothing. You just need him, his energy, his love, and just your presence. Your presence and his presence is the present, is the gift. So when we do this, we must understand that we are praying for not the Shivling to be cleansed, but cleansing all of suffering in Kali Yuga. So the layers of darkness is mandatory and needed, but then we pray for it to be cleansed so that light comes through. Nowadays, it has become extremely fashionable to look down upon anybody who is involved in ritualistic worship. Don't do that. In Islam, following the rules and regulations is mandatory, as if one can pray with one's heart and pray in the manner in which the Prophet or Holy Book, Quran, has desired. Then, bacha, your spiritual growth is not only assured, but also accelerated beyond the realms of imagination. So no judgment. Those who are ritualistic, be ritualistic. And there are certain rituals, like I said, for our ancestors, for all our loved ones who have passed on. It is important to perform certain rituals, but with a heart, not as a mere formality. Very often, the code of conduct is misinterpreted and used to serve to the advantage of those who have other agendas in mind. But the fact is that most of the code of conduct is written. Other religious books may or may not have rules and regulations written down in detailed manner, or they may have been lost over time through many generations and centuries. Thus, there is conflict amongst people as to what is right and what is wrong, because man has interpreted even holy books to suit their convenience. Thus, the difference between a religious person and a spiritual person is simple. The former may or not come from selflessness, compassion, or oneness, because it isn't. Religion today is used as a tool to control people. But a spiritual person will only operate from selfless love, tenderness, compassion, and oneness. You ask me what is going on in Shirdi, or for that matter, in any place of worship. Well, religion is happening to a certain degree. Spirituality is unfortunately mostly disappearing or has disappeared. Rituals are thriving, but compassion seems to have been sacrificed. The places of pilgrimage and the temples, mosques, churches seem to getting more and more regal, but the very essence that the Master, God, represented and stood for, lived by, seems to have disappeared, which is so true. It's all about the commercials now. All my physical life, I have stood by the principle of Sufism or Bhakti, which is that poverty is a real richness, as our true wealth and abundance is our love and faith in the One, and his or her love for us. Today, my body is covered with silk. My walls have gold. I'm fed and bathed in the fanciest manner. My very statue would be made of gold if people had their way. A fakir who walked about in torn clothes, begging for foods, living in dilapidated mosque, which was also a temple, and his home and refuge, is now clothed like a king, with all luxury accorded to the very rich. When you see him in Shiddi, do you see a poor fakir? Of course you don't, because now people are dressing me up. So the humility is gone. So I lived my life in the most humble manner, not because I had to, but because I wanted to live the life of a fakir or a yogi for whom poverty is godliness. God, Allah, Ram, Krishna, Shiva, Christ, when they're in the body, were recited as a poor by being one with the poor. Lord Rama was a king, but lived in a long time in exile. Lord Krishna was a king, but born in a jail. Lord Christ was born in a stable. Why do you think they chose such a life? It is because the world and all its attractions for them symbolize poverty, as it takes them away from the one, while only the spirit, the realization of oneness, signifies royalty, wealth, and abundance. So you have to feel rich and regal in your heart. We are rich and regal in our heart because we are connected to the highest power. Imagine we are connected to the highest power, the king of all kings, and we feel enriched, never feel impoverished, never feel downtrodden just because you have 100 issues on your head. Never feel the burden of sorrow because it is transient. It will go. The heart should always be rich and abundant, overflowing with wealth because we are Guruji's Sangat. Today, mankind goes through such trying times, but in the name of God, innocent children are killed. They're all my children, they're my creation. And yet, all you creation are killing each other, abusing each other, slandering each other, raping each other. Have you gone to sleep? Humanity is asleep. Therefore, God, Guru, descends the earth to awaken each one of us that we are all part of the oneness family. But man divides and he creates walls, and therefore religion can become a little dangerous if it is used wrongly, because religion builds walls, spirituality breaks those very walls. So you may pronounce the words immaculately, but if the words aren't coming from the very breath of your essence, the very sigh of your soul, then those prayers might as well be verbalized by any person or intelligent parrot even. So this quote that I've just recited, it goes back to, again, reciting of mantras. So when we recite mantras, he's digressing now from rituals now and praying and feeding for the ancestors. Now we are going back to the heart. And the heart is when we really put all our heart and soul into the recital of mantras also. And when we're sitting in a satsang, we should be sitting there with the heart, with our eyes closed and not with our eyes open, because we are bound to judge others, or at least then make eye contact and start speaking to them. Okay, so now about this higher heart. Everything has a high and a low. You have a higher self, which operates from calmness, pure love, selflessness, compassion, oneness. This is something we must reiterate to ourselves again and again. Then you have the lower self, which operates from ego, selfishness, envy, sloth, and all the other negative energies. Most individuals on earth are in a transit state, which is between the high and lower self, most of the day. So 1 minute we will be in calmness. The next minute, because you get a phone call, which creates some sorrow, your energies will shift from being calm to suddenly you're in commotion. So it takes a millisecond for us to go from the higher self to our lower self. And this happens throughout the day. Oh, I don't have a driver today, so I'll get rattled. And yet I'm sitting in calmness, but I will get rattled. And then that rattling continues for a few hours or minutes or seconds until again, now I'm sitting quietly and I accept the situation. I have no driver today. Accept it, let it go, and find a solution. A conscious effort is always required to operate from the higher self. So being in awareness, heightened self-awareness. Okay, I'm getting rattled. I have no driver today. or my children are not picking up their phone. These are everyday occurrences. I might start the morning saying, I'm going to remain calm all day, but suddenly that call comes, or the children are busy, or the driver's not there. But if I'm aware and I have this self-awareness that I'm going to remain and operate from my higher self no matter what. That is why every master, every ancient book advocates meditation, prayers, chanting, silent contemplation to bring the breath to a state of calmness. So when we watch our breath, when we're in anxiety, it is rushing. But when we bring that breath back to a state of calmness, that is when we feel centered, which automatically makes the aura surrounding each individual become like still waters, which then makes the mind and heart function in tandem with harmony. And when all this happens, oneness resides in the individual for as long as the breath is calm and still. The individual will always remain calm and still. So observe your breath, and you are swimming in the oneness ocean, and your speech, thought, action, intention will always be calm and centered. When we're calm and centered, we make better decisions. So whenever there is a rattle, bring yourself back to that state of calmness and centeredness, and you make much better choices in life. You could operate from that state for a few minutes, hours, days, all depending on how important it is for you to flow in the same current of oneness. Then, of course, something happens. Third word from somebody. The food not prepared properly, the morning paper not delivered, and the glasses are misplaced. Everything happens and your stillness disappears. So now let me explain what it means to operate from both the higher and lower self. When you compose the divine music that you make through my blessings, when you are at work, you're surrounded by archangels. Know this, and your guides and your best of astral musicians, and you are one with the breath, and nothing matters but creating that music within you. And then once the composition gets over, you don't know what to do. Boredom, emptiness, void enters. And then you start drinking, smoking, doing drugs. Everything that is possible to glimpse the high you feel when you're centered. Your work is your salvation, but the sad part is that most people, that very work becomes their sinking sand. As the moment you stop working, you don't want to be engulfed in the emptiness and void. So to recreate the centeredness you experience, or for that matter, so many experiences that you have at work, and when involved with, you're passionate about, one begins to resort to various other things, shallow things, to create the magic of oneness. So any questions before we go on? Because it's a very interesting, chapter on bringing ourselves to a state of calmness and centeredness, but it is an endlessly long chapter, as usual. All his chapters in this book, in Rabda, Rusbe has made his chapters really long. So sometimes we need to just take a minute's break to resume. So nobody can create a feeling of oneness through drugs or...
Aunty, 1 second. Varsha aunty raised her hand. She wants to say something.
Sure. Hello.
Hi, Jai Guruji, Anita.
Jai Guruji.
This was a very important chapter, I feel, where so many questions have been answered, especially when, you shared about taking prasad to the temples, or the color that you're wearing. And when you are basically doing seva of Shivji, whether they are the goddess murtis. So I was listening to it, and I was in fact doing Abhishek of Shivji that moment.
Oh, wow. Wow, no coincidence.
So suddenly, from some bhav which I had, it changed to what exactly you said, कि जो भी मैं कर रही हूँ, मेरा अपने से सफाई होनी चाहिए. It has to be the cleansing within.
Yes.
So, listening and sharing is so important, because every moment is a realization and a correction in life.
Yes, well said. Yes.
So thank you so much. I just wanted to...
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, let's do it from the heart. Whatever we do, whatever we engage in, it must be from the heart. Otherwise, it's a mere formality.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So the problem is that the feeling of oneness comes when the breath is flowing calmly, when there is harmony between the heart and the mind, which automatically, with the flow of prana or life force or life spark in the right manner, causes the auras to become still. And then you glimpse or breathe the fragrance of oneness. You feel it. Suddenly, when you're sitting alone and you're sitting in centeredness and calmness, just watch yourself, observe yourself. You will feel part of that whole cosmos. The entire cosmos is within you. And you feel that absolute compassion and empathy for all of mankind. So often, people operate from the midpoint of the higher and the lower self. Problem with operating from the lower self as it is that you start attracting lower energies around you. And they slowly enter you through your scattered auras and then slowly make you start doing things which are not really you. Most people aren't even aware that they are being worked upon or manipulated by the energies, the lower energies around you. So they feed on chaos and darkness. This is a food and fuel for lower energies, which are always surrounding us, by the way. We do not realize this. But the lower energies are always surrounding us, looking for a way to influence you or to manipulate you. Therefore, Guruji used to say, Paat kitta karo regularly, and mani man mantra jap chalte rehna chahiye, so that the lower energies cannot permeate us. So, thus they will ensure fights within the individual and around the individual. All scope for harmony gets burned down when the lower energies start creating the madness around you. They are present everywhere as the doors of paradise are shut to such energies, and they roam around earthbound, as we call them, the feeding of people who are weak, who are not connected to the divine. So you see that they fall into depression, they resort to drugs, they are unhappy, they will have broken relationships because they do not know how to operate. They are being operated, they are being controlled. So most, okay, I don't know whether I should read this, but okay. So most sex offenders also feel comforted when they read that they have more rapes and sexual abuses in the papers, as that makes him or her feel that he or she isn't alone and that there is a community that understands and empathizes with the individual. So this is absolutely crazy. Because they operate in lower energies, they feel that, oh, we are not alone. So they operate further from that. So they say perpetrators never or very rarely, unless they have guru's meher, that they rarely rise. So what happens then? How do you get out to the lower self to get rid of lower energies? Now, we all need to hear this because these words resonate with Guruji's teachings 100%. The first and foremost, strengthen yourself. You see, the issue with the lowest energies is simple. They make you feel all is well with you and that the other person or people or the world is at fault. Thus, the person becomes judgmental, plays the victim card. The world is wrong. The world is stupid. The world is senseless. I'm right. My taking drugs is right. My doing wrong is right. Because they justify their wrongdoings. So now he says, so you know, don't you, that you are the spirit in the body and not the body, right? So yes, so breath work is very important. I do that now as much as I can because that keeps us stable and centered. Whatever works for you, little exercise to keep the body and the soul strong. So your state of centeredness decides your state of being and essence. So it all starts with being centered. Then whether you have material comfort or not, whether you experience emotional or physical harmony or discord or disharmony, whether you're in a good place mentally or not, nothing matters, as you're beyond being affected by everything, as you have found your cave where your master resides. So when we're sitting in a satsang, we are so centered, hopefully, And then nothing matters. There are a lot of other energies there too, because Guruji wants to bless everybody. Wherever your master resides and you are one with him or her, and you're centered, the world around you may be collapsing, but you would be nurtured and nourished by the fire from the cave and the serenity of your master's presence. So when you act from centeredness and from the energy, you have dropped all pretenses and all paraphernalia needed for shadow dancing. Now, the problem is that most people think that as soon as they pass over or die, they automatically begin to operate from the concept of being energy rather than the body. That is not true. You are the spirit. Your spirit is encased in 3 bodies, in fact, the physical, the astral, and the causal. And as we spoke about this earlier, that the causal is cause and effect, the karmic body. As I have told you before, each person may have another name for the other 2 spirit or energy bodies, but the fact is they are encased in 3 bodies, which we have. We have the physical, then there's another one, which is astral, and then the causal. So you have your essence of being, which is centered into the physical body. The physical body is contained in the emotional or astral bodies. Our emotions are here in the physical body and the astral body, which is contained in the mental or causal body, which wraps the spirit. When an individual dies or passes over, the physical drops. Now the spirit is encased in the astral emotional body, which is encased in the causal or mental body. That's why they say the causal body carries all our emotions and our karmic blueprint. And that karmic blueprint carries on to our next body. So when the individual passes over, it is not mandatory for the individual to work from the spirit to energy consciousness, and as the individual is still encased in 2 bodies. Even there, the individual feels himself in a body made of 3 elements, ether, air, and fire. These 3 elements make the astral body. When the individual begins to operate only from the spirit energy, slowly the astral body starts getting weaker, and the individual is clearing all karma attached to the astral body. So there too, you're working out your karma on the other plane. But that karma has got to do with the astral and emotional. Maybe physically you are done with your karma. So you do not need to don the physical clothes. Now left are 2 bodies. So let us assume you have worked out even your emotional baggage. Now you have no emotional or astral karma left behind. So when we really resolve our emotional baggage, we all have emotional baggage. We have resentments towards our past, our spouses, our children, our parents, our friends. But when we have really let go, like we spoke abundantly actually about the act of forgiveness. When we've forgiven from the heart again, so heart, when we truly forgive those who have hurt us the most, then there is no emotional baggage left, because it's normally about forgiveness, resentment, holding on till again we hold on and we carry it to our next life. So it's important to forgive in this life. So you drop that astral body and now are left with just one sheet covering your true essence. This is the causal body, which is made of ether. When you work all your karma connected with the mind, thus having no physical, emotional, or mental karma or desires, then you become one with one. Then you are divine prime energy. So we can all do that while we're on the physical plane. To be in alignment with his teachings means to be in alignment with our own selves. When a person is not centered, however, when an individual is filled with hate, anger, ego, paranoia, these lower energies find the person a perfect nesting and breeding ground to spread their hate and venom even further. That is why when Guruji said, pray karo, and silent contemplation is so important. But most important is the realization that whatever takes place, the genesis of that issue is in some other lifetime and some other body, but are carried forward till the experience is not gone through calmly with wisdom and prayer, forgiveness, and asking Guruji, making that ardas to Guruji, The Guruji, give me the strength to let go of my emotional baggage, my karmic baggage. Please enable me to go through it with absolute calmness, wisdom, and clarity. You had asked about the karmic clutch and how one goes through karma. Well, apart from charity and selfless giving, other ways are through prayer, chanting, and meditation. So, charity we spoke about, and selfless giving. Again, when we do charity, no matter how small or big it is, it's the act of giving that counts. It's a Monday today, it's a white day. You may want to give white bread away today to some, give a whole loaf of white bread away to some needy person on the street. There's always somebody needing our blessings, but give it from the heart. Pray that that bread does them a world of good. And may that bread, the whole loaf, feed somebody and make them satiated. When you pray, chant, meditate, do service, selfless love, service, do charity, you become one with your breath. The karma that clings onto the bodies is slowly burnt or washed away. So we can all take, this is what Guruji is doing with all of us. He's helping us to move forward. He's helping us to burn our karma slowly, but we must not repeat those very actions that caused the karma in the first place. So learning from our lessons and awakening to the truth is imperative if we are truly to take that step forward. People keep making repetitive mistakes, and for that, they keep bringing on the same karma, the same behavior pattern, the same karmic pattern. So then it's just a dream from which you will never wake up. This dream state or the load of karma is only broken down to innumerable small sizes when we are awake and we are doing all the back breaking and we are doing the prayers chanting that gets us centered and makes us want to be in a space of nothingness. So when the individual operates from the lower self, the causal body, which is the outer layer, envelopes the astral, which covers the physical, encases the spirit. Initially, small dots form on the causal body, then slowly the dots get bigger, as though there are holes or cracks in the aura. Then the holes begin to get bigger or cracks deeper. And if the individual is not calm and not in the process centeredness, then the lower energies seep in and they control you. And it is known for that, right? So many times I've seen it because I had done a course on past life. Actually, it was on hypnosis, and I had become a leader in hypnosis. But when one of our students, they had this experience because he was so weak, so meek, and he was so vulnerable that another energy entered and we saw it. His voice changed. So, these things do happen. Therefore, Guruji used to say, "Apne apne majboot rakho." The only thing that keeps us strong is engaging in strong activities. Even if it's singing centers us, art centers us. Engage in activities besides the obvious chanting, meditation. There are other creative activities which when we engage in, we become totally calm and centered. So with no healing going on, there is no protection. Just like leaving your home open, the doors and windows open for anything to enter. So that's exactly what it is. There are holes in the astral body, and then the lower energies, they're looking for us. They're looking for people who are vulnerable and weak. So when the mind is agitated, the vibration it emits begins to attract lower energies. So it's repeating itself basically. So when we are taken over by these lower energies, we feel more tired, we feel very depressed, we feel like doing all the wrong things, we are gossiping, and really malicious gossiping. I'm not talking about friendly gossip. So the best way to deal with this situation is to make sure the individual is sent lots of prayers and healing. Drinking lots of water. Guruji used to say, "Pani bahut heal karta hai." So pani jada se jada piyo. On that note, 1 second. We only have one page to go, guys. Please don't get impatient because it's a very important and pivotal part of our day-to-day living. Water charges us, and we can charge the water also before drinking it by doing the mantra jap on it and then drinking it. Before eating anything, "Thank you, Guruji. Please bless my food, Guruji." So if the individual truly wants to get out of this grip with lower energies, then prayers, visiting shrines, and simply resting is all important, but don't let the lower energies take over. We have sadness. Of course, for a while we will cry, but recognize that we're feeling sad and we're feeling low, and sit yourself in a satsang, or you go and see a friend, have a nice coffee, and lift yourself, because we are the co-creators. And Guruji wants us to be the co-creators. We're the co-pilots. So we can navigate our lives to the best of our ability. Ask and plead with your God, Master, to keep you and your loved ones protected also. When you wake up once again, pray in gratitude and always pray for protection. Touch your forehead to the ground, thanking Mother Earth for everything, and most importantly, for bearing your burden. This should be the last thing you do before you sleep. First thing you do when you get out of bed, this should be mandatory. Thanking Mother Earth for all her blessings and blessing Mother Earth. She only gives and never expects or asks for anything in return. But it is important to bless her and thank her for being able to carry me while I am here. When noise is less, silence begins to heal the individual. As silence means the element of ether, which is the closest to the divine energy. When silence begins to grow within you, it begins to fortify the individual by healing the aura. The aura can be healed best by calm silence. I see today's Sangat, especially the old and new, there's no such thing, but the new Sangat, once they close their eyes in a satsang, they don't open it. They are totally in their calmness and centeredness. Not angry silence, not bitter silence, but a calm silence where we let go. And it's in a satsang, which we must ask. Guruji used to say, Manno Mangoni, but we must ask for things which are enabling our spiritual growth. So one of them is, please help me to let go of my fears. Let me reduce or mitigate or even dissolve all my lower energies. And let the higher energies, Guruji, shine forth. Let me be a guiding force and a guiding light to those who are in darkness. And may I be an instrument of your purpose, a medium of your expression. Guruji, may I walk tall, being your humble servant, and may the good always prevail in each one of us. And may each one of us become that guiding light and guiding force, because that is our greatest service. Greatest service is connecting people, being a shining example of Guruji's Sangat, and then walking tall. Jai Guruji. Thank you for listening, everyone. And we did get by this endlessly long chapter, but I hope you enjoyed. And if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.